Here we are, back again, the Life on Life's Terms podcast, and I'm Tom Robinson, and like I always say, grateful recovering addict, and like I always say, we're not affiliated with any 12-step programs, although we do endorse them, we do have benefited from them, we do love them.
Yes, and I'm Chris Mandeville. I'm a recovered heroin addict, and the reason we say that is so that we can talk about what we want to talk about and not have to offend anybody and everything that is said here is, our experience and our opinions.
Right, exactly.
We're not trying to corner a market or anything. We're trying to bring awareness to addiction and treatment and recovery.
We're just trying to spread experiences that'll help other people.
Yes.
Communicate a message of some kind. Nothing coherent, really, but.
Well, somewhat coherent.
Somewhat coherent. All right, somewhat coherent.
And, we have guests on every week. We've had discussions. Also, we're here at a New Way Recovery Center in Quincy, Mass. On Quincy Ave. They're very gracious to let us use this space to provide this podcast and help as many people as we can. They're a great organization here. They have meetings all day, every day. So if you're in the area, and you're looking for resources, definitely come down. You can talk to Warren, Ellen, Lee, she goes by. And tonight we have Shannon.
Hello.
She's going to share her experience with us. Gabe says Shannon is the best. What's up, Gabe?
Hey,
Nice.
Gabe.
Yep. Gabe's been on. So you can share your experience with us, and we will interject or ask you to
questions.
elaborate,
Okay.
or
Sounds
share something similar.
good. Absolutely.
So
Okay. Well, to
take it
begin
away.
with, my name is Shannon. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and a marijuana addict. I am extremely grateful to be in a program that I won't say the name, will I?
you can if you want.
I can?
Yeah.
Okay. I am a grateful member of Alcoholics Anonymous. It has 100% changed my family's life.
Mm-hmm.
To start with, I know what drugs and alcohol can do to a family,
Yes.
and I know what Alcoholics Anonymous has done to help my family.
Yep.
100%.
Addiction rips them apart. AA puts them back together.
It absolutely
right.
does.
But
Absolutely.
like we say in the beginning, this here is not AA, and that's why we are not anonymous necessarily. If you want to only use your first name, that's understandable. But we're certainly not anonymous at the level of radio, press, and films.
Right.
And if anybody wants to make a film, you just come on, contact us.
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
page.
Hit us up. And so those traditions, they were, I think, they were written in the 60s, I believe. I'm not 100%.
60s, really?
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
Well, 35 is when AA began, and
Yes.
according
Right.
to the Big Book, the traditions are in the Big Book, but I'm not sure when they specifically took them from the Big Book and wrote out the. So
Right.
I didn't want to break any traditions by saying Alcoholics Anonymous, but nonetheless,
Right.
for my own anonymity, I'm more than happy to break my anonymity
Yep.
because I want to help people too.
Exactly. And
find
that's why
sobriety.
we do as well.
Absolutely.
And what I was leading to was, I think times have changed, and I think the whole anonymous piece may have
More detrimental effects.
yes.
But let's.
But I completely understand people that want to remain anonymous.
But let's not be putting ourselves into a position to saying that we know better than AA, and we
Absolutely.
should try to change AA.
I don't know
Holy
shit.
Right,
And you can swear if you
absolutely.
want.
No, humility. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I usually only swear at work.
Oh, okay.
But I'll try here. But no, so, I am so grateful to be sober. My life is completely different than it was 5 years ago. I have had a lot of pain in my family, a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
I have, like a lot of people, I come from a family that has the disease. And I remember the day that my father had to walk out the door because he couldn't get sober and my mother had enough.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
stuck
And-
in your mind. Do you think that was traumatizing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's that like more and more we realize that we're treating a trauma. That's That's why I drank and drugged,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that.
Right.
You know, I shared something the other day. It said the war on drugs, and it was crossed out. It said the war on trauma.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, I also seek outside help. I believe in. I think everybody could benefit
Absolutely.
without a doubt. And when I first started seeing her, she said, "We're not going to work on the symptoms of your problems. We're not going to work on the alcoholism, the marijuana, the food addiction. By the way, I'm a food addict.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're going to work on the cause, the trauma."
Mm-hmm.
And so, so it's about, getting down to the root of it,
Yeah, and there's literature that says underlying causes and conditions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also believe that, it was recommended to us by our counselor that seek outside help, because where we go and sit and listen helps with our addiction and helps us keep that down. But everything else, all the outside stuff that we look at treats why we did what we did.
I see it as a threefold disease:
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, mental, and physical.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so how I approach that is, for me, the program Alcoholics Anonymous is the spirituality in my life. It has granted me a gift of a higher power, whom I choose to grow up. I did grow up Catholic. My mother's very Catholic. My daughter's going through the rigmarole of, confirmation and all, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But I just find that the program Alcoholics Anonymous has really rung the bell in my life when it comes to a higher power. And that is how I stay sober one day at a time, along with the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, that group of drunks.
Yes.
And the other three parts, I need to seek outside help. I have it's a mental illness in a sense.
Yeah.
It's a mental illness, and I need to treat
I think
that.
I think they go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of people out there that self-medicate because they don't even realize that they have a mental illness.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you remember? I remember it was like this feeling of impending doom and the feeling of like you just can't sit and face that feeling of impending doom. You just have to get outside of yourself. And I don't really know exactly what that was, other than it had to have stemmed from a conglomeration of unhappiness due to several, like, lots of small traumas.
Yes.
And
Which led up into the very end to just a darkness that you live in, you wake up to on a daily basis. You wake up and it's like, oh no, I did it again. I lived the same way yesterday that I didn't want to live, and today I don't want to do that. And you're on the hamster wheel, and you do it again.
Yep.
And
exactly.
again.
Using against your own will.
Absolutely.
So you're a kid. Your dad has to leave.
So I'm a kid, and my dad has to leave. And I believe for me, that's when the food addiction kicked off. So that was my first addiction. My first experience with a 12-step program was Overeaters Anonymous, OA. Okay. So I was about 16 years old, and I went in there and never was able to put down my drug of choice at the time, which was sugar. But
which the most addictive substance on the planet.
It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
At this point of my recovery, I have put down alcohol, I have put down marijuana, I have put down nicotine. In the whack-a-mole game that we play, it's the sugar that just keeps popping up. So I'm working on that right now. I'm working that with my therapist.
It's hard. It's in everything. Everything.
Yeah. Well, I often go low carb, and you go low carb for like a couple days, and you start to realize, like, that bread looks so good. That, whatever it is, you miss it. You'll eat a full meal of like meat and vegetables and as much as you can stuff in, and you're still wanting something else. You don't need any more food,
Right.
but you want that feeling. It's a drug. It's the drug. It's just like the rest. It's like anything. You get out of yourself with that feeling.
Absolutely.
And
for that part of my disease, I wasn't able to control it. Just like alcohol, I wasn't able to control it or be abstinent from it through OA, but I was through honestly through Weight Watchers. I was 25 years old. At the point, I was almost 80 pounds overweight. I was all through my teenage years. I was very overweight, and I was able to lose. I lost 70 pounds, 75 pounds, something like that, when I was 25 years old, and I learned to do a new way, new eating habit, like moderation is what
And
I
I think
learned.
I may have seen some pictures of you at that age. No.
Yes, my overweight picture.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
What
What you accomplished after
Yes.
that?
So yes, after that I ended up working for Weight Watchers. I ended up helping people. That was the beginning of me knowing that part of my life is I absolutely have to help people. I was put on this earth to help people. And I know that it's through my struggles, what God has given me to struggle with. If I work hard on these struggles and I learn from them, I'm able to help somebody else to get through those struggles and learn from them.
The experiences that we go through are to help someone else get through those situations.
That's right. Absolutely.
Like, I know everything that I've gone through is someone's going to run into me later on and be like, hey, this is what's going on. Wow, I actually know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
So depending on how you look at the situations you go through.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, so I spent many years doing that, and you were talking about pictures of, I was actually a bodybuilder. I did fitness competitions and physique competitions. So and there goes an example of right to extremes. You know,
Yeah,
here
right,
we
right,
go.
right,
You know,
exactly.
let me just eat no carbs for like 12 months at a time, maybe a couple carbs. Spend 2 and a half hours, 3 hours at the gym, and achieve something that's completely unattainable long term. Although I did do it for about 6 years.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I have a lot of discipline. My therapist likes to tell me that I thrive in highly organized, structured environments, and that is true. I am a highly functioning alcoholic.
Right.
I was the type that, I never missed a day's work. I didn't want to go to work because I was wicked hungover.
Right. But you went.
But I went.
Good work ethic.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I did smoke a joint before I went.
Yeah.
Right.
That was so I was a daily pot smoker for over 20 years. I started every single morning with getting stoned. I started my morning every single day using.
Yep.
I used to do that too, and I think that that it was causing me more depression than anything else. Like very introspective, and you're very forgetful. I was very forgetful and scatterbrained, which makes my level of self-respect go down. So, it just wasn't good for me. Like, even if I thought I could get away with smoking pot without going back to my drug of choice, I wouldn't do it because it was just awful.
Yeah.
I had so much shame attached to it.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody to know that I did that. It was just
really?
Yeah.
Social shame.
I had a lot of shame attached to that, and nobody really knew in the beginning. In the end, everybody kind of knew, and except my parents.
You were just hanging around with the wrong people.
I was hanging around with the wrong people.
I'm just kidding.
But in the very end, I was a daily drinker and a daily pot smoker. The worst thing that happened in my life was to lose my partner of 15 years from a drug overdose.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that happened
tough.
when?
That sucks.
2014. Yep, November 1st, 2014.
And you were drinking at this time?
Yes, I was a daily drinker at the time. See, when it came to Terrence, I was able to hide in his shadows.
Yeah, because he was worse than you.
He was way worse than me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like a thing with like Al-Anon. We had some Al-Anon people on, and they're so busy taking care of other people, so they don't have to look at themselves.
Yeah,
type of thing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And so that was devastating at the time. My daughter was 11 years old, and it was just tragic. It is what I came in and I saw that wall with the blankets and the names and the people that we've lost, and it's devastating. And to know that he's there, he's with us every single day. I feel him every single day, and he roots me on in my sobriety, in my recovery, without a doubt. In the beginning, I have a strong belief in God, but I needed to strengthen it. And for me, knowing he was up there wanting me to be a sober mother really helped.
And like I was told that don't ever let an addict or an alcoholic die in vain. Like if you need to learn something from everyone's passing. And a lot of people I've met and I've worked with have struggled with the higher power thing and the God thing. It's like, all right, have you lost anyone that you care about and that you love? Yes. Would they want to see you do well? Yes. Okay, so use them.
Exactly.
Use them until you can, mine's changed. Like visually, it's very simple for me. It's the guy floating by on the cloud with the mandals and the robe, like visually.
Okay.
But it's just, I don't know, just a simple image for me. But like, as far as like working in my life, it's completely different. It's hard to explain. But like visually, for me to like think of like my higher power, it's like the cartoon guy. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. Try and keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
But so he's up there and he's rooting us on, and I do use that when it comes to my daughter. Like, how do you talk to teenagers about drug use and alcohol use? We talk about it incessantly in my house.
Yeah.
It's a nonstop. Absolutely. We're very honest, open. I don't sugarcoat anything when it comes to that.
Right.
And I tell her, you've got a 99.9% chance.
I was the same way with my son.
Yeah. Mine too.
And there's no guarantees of what they're going to do, but I have to do my job where she's so aware of what's happened, why it happened, and what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
I also told him if I catch him drinking or using drugs, we're moving to the most remote location on earth.
We're gonna be up in the mountains of Tibet, and you're gonna sit with monks and you're gonna chant.
Absolutely.
But at least they will have information that I know I didn't have as a kid. And then you have organizations like John and Stephanie Green, No First Time.
Yes.
They're going in the middle schools. They're like,
awesome.
Listen, we want to get to them before they do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Their son picked up at 14 and passed away by the time he was 19. It's
scary.
They're smart enough. They learn more on social media and they see more on social media than we could ever tell them.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Did you ever? Was anybody ever able to really bullshit you as a kid? I mean, once the Santa stage was over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
There was no more. You were finding stuff out. You knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. Is I'm just as honest as possible. I'm like, look, lots of people smoke marijuana and they're fine with it. However, it will inhibit your brain growth development.
Mm-hmm.
And your brain is not fully developed till you're 25, and he already knew that. You know what I mean? And I'm just totally honest.
And that's like I think nowadays we can be transparent with our kids because
completely.
If they're gonna see it, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's all over everything.
I mean, legal.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, when they're real little, you want them to have like the childhood,
right?
And that development stage, and you don't tell them about everything, and you
No.
don't expose them to the evil of wars and all this stuff, whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But once they're teenagers, I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
they start asking questions.
about
You give them
everything.
a little bit.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Satisfy the curiosity.
Yep.
So, so is it your daughter?
My daughter.
Was that your the man you lost
Yes.
his daughter to?
That was my little nuclear family that I tried to do anything I could to keep us together because I had lost my father.
Mhm.
My father had gone. Well, I had temporarily lost my father. Thank you very much to Alcoholics Anonymous. I
Right.
lost my father in the 4th grade. I was not to see him again until my freshman year in college.
Oh, I see. He
Wow.
got sober.
He got
I see.
sober. He got
That's
sober,
great.
and so that was the first gift that this program was able to give back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he has 30 plus years of sobriety. He's active
Nice.
helping people in the same situation. He's never stopped
Cool.
helping, and so I've learned from him.
Mm-hmm.
This
So
is what you
like
do.
you kind of knew where you could go. Luckily.
I did. I knew about Alcoholics Anonymous. Ironically enough, I knew about it from my father, but I knew a lot about it from Terrence because of all the struggles and the ins and the outs and the getting in trouble and being court ordered. And as we were driving here and we drove by one of the churches, I said to the girl that I've been sponsoring, and she came with me, I said, she said, I went to that church meeting. And I said, okay, me too. I said, I actually used to sit outside the meeting I said, before I was in AA, I go, the example of being completely not in the middle, not in it, not in AA, I was sitting in the car outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you don't want to be in sobriety.
Yeah.
You want
No.
to be on the outside.
No.
You want to be
Right.
inside. So now I am smack dab in the middle.
Right.
I'm
Which is
swimming-
why I
swimming
wrote
with
what
the
I
sharks.
wrote. You know, like you deeply rooted. Like you've helped start meetings, a
Mhm.
couple
Yeah,
recently.
yes.
But that's the thing. Like that's what makes me feel good, is helping other people. That's what
Absolutely.
makes me not think about the situations that I have going on.
Absolutely.
You know, like it's
I need to help other people.
Mhm.
I need to help other women the same way I was helped. You know what I mean? It's like when you get that responsibility of helping somebody else in whatever program your choice is, whatever your way of recovery is.
Yep.
When someone else how do you do it? You know, it's a little bit overwhelming sometimes because you don't want to make a mistake, and
right.
you know. But I talk to the person who helped me. And I just do what that person did.
Yep.
You know, and I was speaking to him today. You know, ever since in the last several months, I've come to realize that when somebody asks me to help them, you know, some people have the attitude, well, when you call me, you call me, you call me, like it's their responsibility. Well,
Yeah.
they're brand new and they're scared and they don't know what's going on. And guess what? I'm going to call you,
Yeah.
and I'm going to call you, and I'm going to make sure that you feel comfortable. And then you're going to call me, and we're going to talk to each other every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to talk to my help, my sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
And then so every day it's on my checklist is I need to communicate, whether it's through text or preferably a phone call. But there's a lot of texting going on
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
That
It's easy.
Yeah. And they're checked in. You know that I care because I sent you a text and we're going
Mhm.
to talk for a second. We'll catch up tomorrow if we have to.
Yep.
But that's what it's all about because this is, for me, it's a we program.
Right.
Alcoholics Anonymous. For me, even recovery is a we program.
Right.
Nobody is going to be able to recover on their own.
No, because
Maybe they will, but I
like
don't
your
know.
your best thinking got you where?
That's right.
So like you
Isolated
can't.
and alone.
Yeah, you can't fix the problem with the same broken mind that created it.
That's right.
Like
Yeah.
we need a different
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
And like you said, someone asked me for my number. I'm gonna give it to you, but I need you to text me right now, so I know who
Yes.
you are and I have your number.
Yes.
And even if it's just a couple days later, hey, what's up? Remember
Yep.
from so and so?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, because I didn't want. It's like there's a 1,000-pound gorilla on the phone. I don't want to pick it up and ask for help.
right.
I've never been able to do that ever. Like when I was 7 years old, there was no one to ask for help.
I
Right.
did it once. It was with who's that longshoreman that I used to go to a meeting with this dude. Anyway, I called up and I didn't know what to say, so I just said, "I'm calling because I said I would call."
Yeah, right?
Like super awkward.
Yeah.
Like, all right, how you doing? Good.
Yeah, just.
There are some awkward phone calls.
Super
But you got to
awkward.
break the ice. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then like I've made some really, really, really good friends.
Absolutely.
know?
Oh my God, that is what has really changed my life. Like I knew when I had that moment of desperation.
Mhm.
Okay, Terrence was gone, and it was about a year later after Terrence's death that
And now you're still.
I'm
you're still
drinking
using.
on a
Yep.
daily basis. You know, I had gone back to AA about 2 months later. I have to get sober. I have to get sober. My daughter deserves a sober mother, and I didn't stay. You know,
So she was like 5 or 6 at the time?
no, she was 11 years old.
Oh, okay.
She's 16
okay.
now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And so she was 11 years old, and I just went back to crying in my cornflakes and drinking my wine and smoking my weed, and
Mhm.
I just couldn't get off that hamster wheel, and it was so aware of wanting to get sober, and so when I got arrested for drinking and driving. That's what happened.
Okay.
This is I have to be honest
Oh,
about
yeah.
myself. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And so I got arrested right behind my house. I could see my house. I'm like,
Oh,
that's my house.
I almost made it. Damn it. Almost.
I've heard that
Almost.
type of thing before. Yeah.
I drove into
Brutal.
town too slow, and someone called.
Hmm.
But I was so grateful that it was over because I had been.
Yeah.
I was just this weight
Yeah.
was lifted off of my shoulders.
I had the
I got
same
arrested. That's what got
experience.
me sober.
Yeah,
I went to
good.
jail, but it was like
Yeah.
I could
That's
breathe.
Yeah.
exactly what it was
I
like.
could breathe.
It was
And
amazing.
people are like, "Oh, really? You had to go to jail?" Yes, thank
Yeah.
God I had to go to jail, and I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, at the time, it was a step up from how I lived.
Right.
You know, like I had
Yeah.
a bed.
Okay.
I had food. I had a shower. You know, I didn't have those things on the
Right.
street. I ended up
Right.
like the homeless heroin
Right.
addict running around Brockton.
Right.
You know.
For me, it wasn't a step up for how I was living, but I remember being in that hole in the cell and laying my head against the wall and closing my eyes and just smiling,
Yeah.
knowing that I'm not going to have to do this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it's not up to me. It's all done.
Yep. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know, and what you're saying too, I want to make a point about is that my dad likes to say, we come from Yale and we come from jail.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You know, alcoholism, drug addiction, it hits every single type of family in every single type of town. It does not discriminate.
There's not one demographic that it doesn't affect.
Nope.
I don't care. I guarantee you there's some Amish people that got this going on. You know,
Probably.
it does not
Family
matter.
life, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
It does. It.
You know?
You can grow up in the most affluential.
He went right to the Amish. Wow.
Nothing against the Amish. Nothing against the Amish, but like that. I'm just trying to like prove a point that like it doesn't matter where you come from. Like
Yeah.
they've, you know, I'm not trying to get religious or anything, but they talked about it in the Bible. Like I have a counselor that he gave me a quote out of the Bible, and it completely talks about someone who had too much spirits.
Yeah.
You know, and wakes up red-eyed, and like I don't know the thing for verbatim, but
Right.
it's been an issue for a very, 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 very long time.
Absolutely.
And
Yale or jail.
yeah,
Yale or
from
jail.
the
Absolutely.
penthouse to the park bench.
Yeah.
Park Street to the park bench.
Yeah.
That's
Yale to jail.
And you can get off this roller coaster ride
Mm.
at any point.
Right.
You know, so that happened. I got arrested. I walked to the courthouse on Monday morning. I stayed sober. I did not pick up a drink. I have not picked up a drink since. My last
Since
drink
you got arrested for
was
DUI.
at Almanova restaurant. I was out on a date, and I was trying to behave myself. I won't drink too much. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and
Not here, anyways.
and anyway, so that was my last drink, and I got arrested, and I went off to work the next day, and I actually called up a sober friend, got me to work, got my car out of impound, and asked me if I'd had enough. Have you had enough? And
The-
he'd been
the
my friend for a
infamous
long
question.
time. Absolutely, and I'd had enough, you know. And so, by the grace of God, I was able to not drink that Saturday or that Sunday, and I went to Cohasset Unity on Monday night.
Oh, Cohasset Unity.
Am I allowed to say that? Cohasset Unity. I love Cohasset
Sure.
Unity. I just
Sure.
did. It's a meeting somewhere.
It's
Okay.
still in the same old place it's always been in the
Yes.
center there.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice
Yeah.
church.
And I raised
Big
my
meeting.
hand and I said I needed help, and I needed women's help.
Yep.
You know, and so then I was able to get rides. But I wanted to say that when I had walked to that courthouse and I stood in front of that house, I came home and I literally stood in front of that house, and I'm a girl. I went to Fontbonne Academy. I have, I'm in graduate school. I have things in my life. I own my own home. I have a nice family. I stood there in front of that house and I thought, if you pick up a drink, you're going to get behind the wheel of that car. There's the car. I was looking at it. I'm like, I know I'm an alcoholic. If I have one drink, I'm going to continue to drink and I'm going to get behind that wheel of the car. And that judge just told me that she'll put me in jail.
Yep.
And that scared the living hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do? If I went to jail, I would lose my daughter. First of all,
Yeah.
I would lose my daughter.
Ooh,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, no one's raising my child. It was like a pride thing. No
Yeah,
one's raising
right.
my child. I'm raising my child, you
Yep.
know? And
Which
then I looked
a
at the
good
house.
pride thing.
A good pride, absolutely. And I looked at the
Yeah.
house and I'm like, and then you can't earn your money. You know, I'm a workaholic. No, you know what I mean? I go to work every day. Like,
Yep. Yep.
then I wouldn't be able to pay the bills. And I just saw that all the yets were going to happen to me. It was going to be me now. Now Terrence is gone. The spotlight's off of him. And I'm going to crumble and I'm going to destroy. So I saw that ladder and I knew it was time to get off before I destroyed anymore. So
Yeah,
I went running into that AA
Yep,
meeting. I knew
yep.
where it was. I knew who was there.
Thankfully,
You
know what I mean?
You decided to walk before they made you run.
That's right.
That's pretty good. I
Yep.
wish it was Mike. Story.
so that seed was planted at some point.
The seed was planted.
You know.
I'd actually gone into AA in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, that person who had said to me, "Have you had enough?" was a new friend in my life in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to that person talking about his sobriety. He's 27 or 28 years sober. And so, you know, he just, the way he talked, it was a language that he had that I know nothing of.
Yep.
I knew my father was sober and stuff like that, but I never really heard my father talk like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This man was talking like that, and I heard, do the next right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I knew that getting up and smoking pot and getting behind the wheel of the car to start off a day was not the next right thing. And that's what I've been doing for a long time. It's hard to say this because I know this is public, and maybe my mother will find out. I hope not.
Well,
whatever. You know
in case, hi, Mom.
Yes, I know. But it was what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel right with that, so I went into AA, and I was there for 13 months. And you know what? We often tell ourselves that we're not that bad, and that's what I did. I told myself I wasn't that bad. I had never gotten connected with women. And that's why it was so important to me when I went back this time. I knew what I'd done wrong. I had not gotten connected to women. Nobody called me. No, speaking of phone calls and texts, nobody called me and said, "Where you been?"
Yeah. Well, that's probably a bad thing.
Yeah. So this time I jumped in hard. I got connected. I found women in the program who I was amazed because I would hear people talk about, oh, my best friends are in this program, my best friends and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I did not experience that. Well, I did this time.
Mm-hmm.
Within 4 months, I met my best friend, who is a crackerjack. She's a firecracker. I think you know who I'm talking about. You know?
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
oh my God, she does a mile a minute of but she's pure love for sobriety and recovery. You know.
Yeah.
And,
She's a hot shit.
she really
Nice.
is.
Nuttier than squirrel shit, but she's awesome.
She is.
She is. She's awesome. And
Jeez.
listen, that woman helps
Hundreds of
so
people.
many people.
Nice.
She does.
So shout out to
Good
you.
stuff.
She does. Love you.
Yeah.
Believe in miracles.
Yes. The rock
yeah.
lady.
Yeah, so she hooked right on to me, and and she became my best friend in this program.
Mm-hmm.
And I met other women, and they helped me. The woman, another woman who, from day one that I met her, and she offered to drive me. You know, that's what we do in this program, is we help each other. And she gave me a ride for like 3 months.
Yep.
So she's my friend. You know what? And we actually end up going on a cruise together
Right.
shortly after.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy, like the relationships that you can build.
Yep.
You know, I saw someone jump on here earlier. Like, I ran with that guy for years and years and years, every single day, to the point where,
In the program.
yeah,
Yeah.
to the point where people thought we were gay,
Okay.
and we were like, screw it, let's just let them think what they, because we were always together, we were always going to meetings. You know what I mean? And and we were in a coffee shop, and they said, "Oh, are you with him?" And like, it dawned on us at the time, like, oh, that's what they're thinking. We were like, okay, let's go.
That's
But
funny.
like, you know, like, we were together always. And this was like before I did any step work. This was just like running around to meetings, you know, because I didn't do any work on myself for almost 8 years in this program.
Yes, wow.
God graced me
Right.
for a very long time.
Yes.
I did just enough to squeak by
Yeah.
and not pick up. But
Mm.
I had everything back, and I didn't want to live anymore. You know, like,
Okay,
I was
okay.
like in the basement of my house wondering if the rafters were high enough. Had my son back, had a job, money in the bank, you know, like it, but I hadn't done any work. I don't suggest anyone does that. Please, if you come into this program,
Yes.
do some work on yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, I
Yeah.
was abstinent. That was it.
Absolutely. We have to change the person we brought in.
Yeah, yeah, and that was. It's not like that wasn't told to me.
Right.
You know, it's not like I walked into a room and people took that book and put it away.
Right.
No, they were talking about it. I just wasn't ready to hear it. You know,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
I ran around like trying to fix feelings. You know what I mean? With everything but what I should have
Mm-hmm.
tried to fix the feelings with. You know, like I had that God size hole, and I was putting everything in it but God. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't recommend you do that. Anybody, please
No.
work on yourself.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know,
Right.
And just one day at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. You know, some people come in and they just want to like fix everything right now.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
know, and just have to take it simple. You know, I love when I see like there's a woman out there outside that room right now. I met her a week ago.
yep,
You know, and she wants it. What is she doing? She's coming to a meeting with me every single day.
yeah,
I said, I'm coming here tonight. You want to come? Yes, I do.
Yep.
You know, you have to jump in.
That was a big thing for me when I was broken enough to be willing. I mean,
Yeah.
And I always say, and I've said it before, it's when I was willing to hit my knees, and it was that first night in the treatment program when a friend of mine says, they say you got to get down on your knees and pray before you go to bed. I'm like, I pray my way. I know how to pray. Thanks.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And then I was sitting, and he's on his knees, and we were sharing a room. It's in the treatment center. He's on his knees praying, and I'm in the bed, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing? And that was like a big turning point.
Yeah.
Like, I think I know better, and now the next night, I became willing to do that. It's just a sign of willingness. For me.
And humility.
Humility, exactly, and it, you know, it's not, it's not doing anything for God, in my opinion. God's good; He's okay. He doesn't need me to kneel.
Right.
But it's something for me, for my willingness to show me that I respect,
Right.
that I'm willing, that I'm serious. It's just for me, and I'm not saying it's necessary. Not going to stay sober, but it was just the willingness.
Right.
Is the point of it all. You know, once I was willing to do away with old ideas, that was a big, because I was very stubborn. I was very boastful to myself, not outwardly, but I was very, self. I'd build myself up with false bullshit that I would tell myself.
Yeah.
You know,
False bravado.
yeah. False bravado. That's right. And once I was willing to do away with all that, that was the turning point. That was the change.
Yep.
That's when the change came. Slowly, but
So you ended up out in Cohasset.
I did.
Got connected with all these women.
Yes. Yep. And I just stay as active as I can. I have all sorts. I always have a job in my group.
Yeah.
I go on a lot of commitments as much as I can. I'm actually in graduate school right now too, so I'm very busy. I make a lot of cakes too.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Me and Krista were talking. And it's like, how the fuck does she have time to do all this shit? Like, I'm just trying to think. Okay, all right. I work. I get out. I shower.
And I managed to keep the house clean. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But
cat
that's the
fed
thing.
and the
Like,
lawn done.
you don't give yourself time enough to like get distracted. You just stay focused.
I do stay focused. I live a very organized, structured life. But I do know that I have to have downtime.
Right.
So I'm very happy in a relationship. I've been so for the past 2 years. He's a great guy. But he has to understand, it took him a while to figure this out. Like, he thought it was taking it personally. I need my night or two by myself.
Right.
And turn off the phone, not talk to anybody. Because I am go. So I need that time. And that's self-care.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And my sponsor told me how important self-care is. You know, I need to take care of myself. And that's where it leads back to when I said it was a spiritual, mental, and physical. I need to take care of myself physically.
Yep.
I remember when one of my family members, was going into one of their umpteenth rehabs, and I didn't know what to do to help this person, and I loved that person so much. And what I did was I bought her a pair of sneakers, and I put a note in the sneakers, and I said, just take some walks, do some activity. I said, this is the only way I know in my life that has helped me to feel better about myself. And it's true, you know what I mean? You don't need to be a marathoner, and you know all the crazies, all the levels that I've reached. But I remember when I first started just getting better and liking Shannon, it was just taking a walk out the front door.
Exercise is so important for mental health as well.
It really is.
As physical health. Like Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. Like him and all his buddies did like a 1 month workout thing where they worked out. They were trying to up each other.
Sober October?
Yeah, something Sober October. Yeah. And they were 4 or 5 hours a day working out.
Okay.
But he's like, I never felt so good in my entire life. Because he's saying that, you know, physical activity can help with anxiety, can help with depression.
Yeah.
Like you're getting all these things, natural endorphins.
Absolutely.
You know, and serotonin and stuff that we need, which all the stuff that we're putting into our bodies stop the production of.
Exactly.
You know, and now we need to like refire these things off in our brain, and the brain's a pretty amazing organ. Like it can rewire itself, you know, kind of like reboot it.
Yeah.
What's Howie's organization? Shout out to that.
Howie?
Yeah.
Oh, Sets for Sobriety.
Sets for Sobriety.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Howie.
Shout out to Howie.
I just joined a new gym today, and I
Did
sent
you?
Howie some pictures of the gym. He said, "What's the biggest dumbbell they have?"
I know.
It was a 120. He said, "No, not big enough."
I know. Yeah. I probably couldn't even bench press that right now, but whatever. He's like,
Yes, he's in a different league.
yes. Yeah. And that was good the other night too.
Yeah, it was
Congrats.
good. Absolutely.
But
Shout out to Howie.
to be a part of that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
To see people's lives get put back together. Not only our own, but because we
Yeah.
know, but trying to tell others, like, it's like, I can't tell you. I'd have to just show you. Just come with me.
That's right.
Just watch.
Yeah.
Just put a little faith, little trust,
That's right.
you know? And it's not always rainbows and butterflies.
Nope.
Sometimes it sucks.
it's hard work.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's so much better than it was.
Absolutely.
You know, like even the bad days don't compare to.
Well, that's the thing. Once you've come through what we've come through,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like a big deal. Like, whatever's going to happen. It's like, I'll handle that, and there'll be another something else, you know, and we doing that when that's over.
Yeah.
You know, it's not nothing's the end of the world until it is.
Yeah. Like, you know, I got some
At
stuff
that time.
got some stuff going on right now that I have no idea how it's going to work out or what's going to happen, but it will. I know it will.
Me too. I got
I've
some stuff,
yeah.
You know.
I say it all the time.
gonna be
If
all
we
right.
all throw our problems on the table, I'll probably want to take mine back because other people have it worse. We never know. We never know what someone's going through.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, that's right.
And like kindness and mindfulness and just being nice. You know, it's
compassion.
yeah.
Compassion is huge. You know.
Which is huge.
And I wasn't always like that, you know, running around the halls, you know, like if I see someone that's struggling, oh, you get a TV for sale? Sure.
Right.
You know, like trying to stay clean and like still living dirty, you know. Someone said it the other day, it's not an old behavior if you did it yesterday. Oh, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jack. Mr. Harper. Jack the Voice Harper.
Jack the voice harp.
Yeah, he said it's not an old behavior if you did it yesterday, buddy. You know?
Right.
Because, like, I was trying to be the same person, just not do what I was doing.
Okay.
You know, like, that's sober, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah, that's physically sober, you know, but it wasn't mentally sober. It wasn't spiritually sober.
Right.
I was just living dirty.
When I ask God for help in the morning, and I, first of all, the third step prayer is crucial for me.
Mm.
You know, I have to turn my will over to God and ask Him to do His will, not mine.
Yeah.
I ask Him to be helpful, not hurtful. To be kind, not curt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be rude.
You're asking him to help you to be these things.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, every single morning.
And that's just to remind yourself.
That's right. And then also, like, 'cause, by the way, I work in the customer service world.
Yes.
I deal with people of all types.
The hospitality industry.
Absolutely, hospitality.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Yes. It's fun. And so I have to remind myself, like, I'm always making sure that I'm, like, and smiling, and it's not to be fake, but it's to be real. Like, be kind to other
Yes.
people. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
wow, I really like your shirt.
Yep.
You know, a young girl, you're beautiful. Oh my God, thank you. Like, these people, this matters to people.
I want to
Be
do that
kind.
sometimes, but I'm afraid.
Okay.
Like I've seen people where I'd like to compliment them, but I'm like, is this gonna get me in trouble? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Well,
You
for
gotta
me,
watch
it's just
out.
a habit, you know.
Yeah.
And I just know I know that people really respond to that, you know what I mean. But just in general, being nice, like, and even like when someone's in a bad mood, you know, and the people that it's really hard to be nice to, Those are the
Yes.
ones that you really want to, I try to be really nice. And also sometimes when you can't win with them, I just don't let them bother me. I like
Yeah.
to say I don't let them take my serenity away,
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I am
'Cause it can be very toxic.
Yeah, it can be toxic, it can be ugly, and then I'm eaten up because
Yep.
that person's a jerk.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
I don't want that to happen. You know?
Negativity can
If
suck
I-
you right in.
If I'm at my my best level of spiritually fit on any given day, I can imagine the connection that I believe we all have, and the fact that we're all humans, and that fact that I don't let this worldly stuff separate me from the other human beings around me. Now, you might be of a different ethnic origin, you might be of a different gender, you might be of a different social class, you might be of a different opinion than me. All stuff from the world
Right.
that was given to you since you were a baby.
Yes,
Absolutely,
fed to
absolutely.
you.
Fed to you
Yep.
from the world.
Yep.
If you had taken 3 days before you were born and we were in that state together, we would be connected and there would be nothing separating us.
Yes.
Right? So that's
That's
what
awesome.
I like.
I know, right?
That's what I like to think of, when I'm at my best. Other
Right.
times I'm like, flipping people off on the
Yeah,
street.
exactly. We're not
You know.
always at our best.
No, it's progress, not perfection.
That's right, thank
That's
God.
But you can't use that as a cop out either.
That's
no,
true.
we have to try.
But like you're saying, like
Progress, not perfection, asshole.
the it doesn't matter the janitor or the CEO. Like
That's
I'm gonna
right.
say, hey, how you doing? What's
That's
going
right.
on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I see people like in the grocery store and like just the way they look at somebody, it's like, wow, really? Like are you that much better than that person?
Exactly.
I'm not. I
No.
know I'm not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say to my coworker, "Oh, I didn't realize that person was so important.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I
like
didn't realize." Yeah.
like it's funny. We were driving today at work. Like I'm in the city of Quincy. I work here. Going through the square. There's 2 lanes this way. We're coming in 2 lanes this way. This person needed to get into the T so badly, they cross over the double yellow, head right at us. And it's like, really? There's like 5 cars ahead of you. You can't wait. There's a bus. Like, no, just put my life in danger so that you can get into the T. That's okay.
Oh yeah, it's like a mind cramp. It's like you see it on the road all the time, and I've been guilty of it many times. You see somebody like trying to get in front of them, and they're so upset, and it's like,
Yep.
and then there's other people who are like so distracted they're inconsiderate. Too.
Yeah. They don't even realize what
Yeah,
they're doing.
Don't even realize what they're doing.
They're
you know?
texting, they're scrolling Facebook,
Yeah.
whatever, and not even paying attention.
But
It's-
our challenge is to forgive all that,
Yeah. Right.
and to just
Like maybe that person got a phone call that someone was hurt. And they were trying to get somewhere.
yeah.
Yep.
Try and think that way. I don't always do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
somebody's pulling all absolutely outrageous crap,
Yeah.
and your challenge is to love them for it because you see that that's a flaw, and they're working towards being better someday down the road. Maybe they'll be on their deathbed that they realize,
Yep.
and maybe it'll be
Yeah.
when they're 70.
Maybe
Who
they
knows?
never will.
Maybe
Who
they
knows?
never will.
But you know how where we came from, awareness. To
That's
be
right,
aware is to be alive.
Is to be alive.
Like pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to what's going on within you.
Yep.
Pay attention to your thoughts.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this on the way over about when I said about Yale from jail, and just in other words, any person, whoever you are, whatever your circumstances are, if you are having those thoughts, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm doing this too often. I did it again. What did I say last night? What did I do last night? Who did I, upset last night? If you're having these thoughts, then because generally we don't verbalize that we think we have a problem
Right.
in the beginning. We think it in our own mind. So if you're starting to have, if you're having these thoughts, be honest with yourself.
Right.
Give it a try. Give recovery a try.
Right. It's not going to hurt you. You can go back to doing what you were doing. It's
Yes.
going to be there.
Absolutely.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere, and there should be no shame in it. It's just ridiculous at this day and age that there's any shame involved
Yeah.
when it comes to having a problem when it comes to any kind of substance.
Yep.
You know?
And it doesn't matter. Heroin to Haagen-Dazs.
It doesn't matter.
know?
Heroin to Haagen-Dazs, I like it. There you go.
like you could.
We had it all in my house.
Yeah. You like. But I've said it so many times on this podcast. Like, I can't believe it's 2019 and people still don't know where to go or what to do if they think they have a problem.
Right.
It blows my mind. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
You know, like
Spread the word.
You can hashtag. You know, like recovery at your fingertips. That's something.
Absolutely.
Some people can't get out of the house. Some people are very antisocial. People,
Yeah.
you know, mental illness has gotten a lot worse over the years.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can't get out, at least you can listen or watch or, you know, and like we say it all the time, reach out to us. You know,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter. We've had people reach out to us and, you know, done what we needed to do for them. And
Yes.
like for you know, something off of Facebook,
Right.
like if I can help people through that, absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, there's enough bullshit on there. Like if I can bring something positive to it,
Absolutely.
let's do it.
I
you
like
know?
how it is actually, because my Facebook is all like recovery stuff and positive
Mine
stuff.
is too. At this
Hardly
point.
anything.
Yeah.
Thank God for the
negative at
Facebook
all.
algorithm.
Absolutely.
Whatever you visit the most, that's what you
Oh,
see.
yeah.
I just
You
don't
know?
click on negativity.
Yeah.
It works
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And I've had people send me messages because I'm open about my sobriety.
Hmm.
I've had people send me messages saying,
Yeah.
my so and so needs help, or this one needs help, and what do I do?
Yep.
And because some people they just don't know, but they just ask.
Yes.
If you don't know, ask.
Yep.
You know, and then I'll give them the information, and they're so grateful to have some information. Like,
Right. Just
there are
because
answers.
just because you don't hide what happened with you. You know?
Absolutely.
Um,
Don't hide.
Kristen had a status up the other day, and I commented on it. We recover loudly so others don't have to suffer in silence.
Absolutely.
Yep, that was a
That's
good one.
beautiful.
You know, like
Yes.
I am not a.
Yes.
Judge me if you wish. That's less time you're judging someone else. I can take it. You know what I mean? But like I share lots of recovery stuff on my page.
Mhm.
I put up like readings every day on my story, and
Mhm.
people have reached out.
Yep.
And
I think you know what, and this just occurred to me. I think that the original, and I don't know this. It's just an assumption or an idea or whatever, a guess. I think the original anonymous thing might have not been for the people who are busy enjoying their recovery, but more for the people who are looking at AA and wondering if they go in there, is everybody in their life going to know that they went
Yes.
to AA and they have an
Yes.
alcohol problem?
yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
Yep. I experienced it. So I was working with a guy, my sponsor, Sober Paint and Crew, woman that contracted us to do a job. We're supposed to go there the next day or whatever. And, you know, I heard the voicemail, a frantic voicemail. Please do not mention where you know me from.
Right.
Maybe this woman's family had no idea that she had a problem.
Right. If you choose to be anonymous,
Yeah.
that should be respected.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna break your anonymity. Hey, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
and it took me a while to understand that.
Especially go, you hear what so-and-so said the other night at
Yeah.
that meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You
Right.
can destroy somebody's life.
Like
you know.
if I'm
Yeah.
talking like personally with someone, that's a different story. But like to just throw it out
Blurt
into
it
the
out.
open,
Oh,
you know?
my word, yeah. That could
Oh,
be
yeah.
devastating.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's suicide.
Definitely.
I've had it done to me. I've had things that I've said in a meeting come back to me like way around. Like, how the hell did you hear that? Like, really?
Yeah.
You know?
But you're
But
tough as nails.
Yeah.
no,
We have to
I'm
remember
not.
that we are human beings, and
Yes.
you know, we're faulted, you know,
Yes.
and so
Yeah.
you just have to be careful. Like that's why you get to know a lot of people. You have to keep your circle small.
Yes.
Get involved, jump in, and take whatever help you can in the beginning, but then pay attention and keep your circle small.
Mhm.
Mm.
There's definitely things that I won't tell everybody.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And some
Right.
things I won't tell anybody.
Yeah. There's
I'll
not
keep that for my therapist, who
Yeah.
is by law are not allowed to tell anybody.
that is. It's funny you say that. I was so scared to talk about certain things,
Mhm.
and the
Mm.
only thing that gave me comfort,
Yep.
I say it all the time, is if I ever hear anything that I told this lady, I will fucking sue her pants off.
Absolutely.
I don't care if she talks about it around the water
Yeah.
bubbler, but if it ever gets back to me,
Yep.
and that gave me comfort enough to talk
Yes.
about things
Yeah, at
that I
least-
wouldn't
100%,
share with
you know?
anyone.
At least
Or
you could
maybe
cry
a
it about
priest
it
at
all the
same
way to the
time.
bank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So, that's because there's some things that we said, I'm going to take that to my grave.
Yes.
And they're,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
not going to go off my lips to somebody, even like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell that person.
Right.
I don't want them to judge me either.
And
Yeah,
like yes.
That's
so,
right.
but and,
Yes.
and meanwhile, I probably, it's like, I broke I don't know, something stupid. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Compared to
exactly.
somebody else's, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
So yeah, we're
Yeah, we're almost there.
we're about there.
Yeah.
About there.
Is there anything that you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug?
Upcoming events.
Yes.
Or
well,
anything like
Recovery
that?
Rocks is
Yes,
coming up.
Recovery
Yeah,
Rocks is
Recovery
coming up.
List.
We
Thank
will.
you for reminding that.
Yeah.
Yes, we will be broadcasting from there, Recovery Rocks, at Bullman Marine, Bullman Marina in Situate. So
Big concert. Big
yeah,
show.
we're gonna
a really
try
big
and
shoe.
yeah, a really really big shoe. We're gonna try and get some people to sit down and chew the fat with us in between sets.
Yeah.
Because we want to enjoy it as well.
Absolutely.
But fair to say we'll probably be running around helping. What else is going on?
We get that thing at the end of the month, but I don't.
Oh
really
yes,
know anything about that.
Overdose Awareness Day. We're going to be doing, I
Yes.
think, out in Lowell. Hopefully, if we get a table, Maddie O'Malley, get back
Hit
to
us
me.
up.
What about you?
What am I? I'm going to stay sober one day at a
Yes.
time.
Yes, but
Right.
like we always
Wow.
say, if you want to know anything,
Absolutely.
she's tagged
Feel
in
free
this.
to-
If you want to,
Yep, tagged on me. You can find
Yep.
me on Facebook. There's a popular breakfast restaurant in Braintree. You can stop on by and have a little breakfast and a little bit of sober chat.
Yes.
Yes.
great pancakes, every kind you could think of.
Yes. Might be the pancake queen. Could
Yes,
Be my sister.
And anybody wants to talk to us, message us. Anyone that wants to come on here and share their experience,
Drop
please.
us a line.
Yeah, hit us up.
Absolutely. If anybody out there needs help, and particularly any females,
Mhm.
any young females, for some reason I just I have this soft spot for young women who are struggling to get sober, that are
Yeah.
opiate addicts or
Yeah.
heroin addicts, any kind of addiction going on. But if you need some help, please call me.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
there to help
And if you are too
Good
afraid,
stuff.
we can put you in touch with her. Don't be
Absolutely.
afraid.
Don't
Could
be
save your
afraid.
life.
you.
Yeah.
Absolutely could save your life. I got sober for me first, for my daughter second, and out of respect for Terrence third. Without a doubt, he
Mhm.
died, and like you said, let him not die in vain.
Right.
I will do
There you go.
anything I can to avoid another family going through the horrible tragedy that we have gone through.
Yes.
I am a
Yeah.
family in recovery. My daughter is in recovery.
Mhm.
We are casualties of this war on opiates.
Yes. And today marks the beginning of Overdose Awareness Month. August is Overdose Awareness Month.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of vigils coming up. I know Braintree. I know there's a sunrise vigil that
Yes.
I am definitely going to be at out at the Situate Lighthouse.
Yeah.
So, if you go on to this page,
When's a sunrise vigil?
it's
What?
coming up really
Coming up soon. I'm not sure of the actual
Yeah, I
date.
think
On
it's toward.
Saturday?
Actually, it might be towards the end of the month. It is on a weekend.
Yep.
I believe.
It's on a Saturday or Sunday morning.
Check this page. There's lots of links. I know Katie Bedreau does a great job of sharing tons of stuff on this page.
She's very active.
Yes, lots of resources and people that you can reach out to. If you need anything, please hit us up. Let us know.
Please
One more-
subscribe to the audio podcast, LOLTerms.com.
Yes. We didn't even say that. Go ahead.
The Anchor in Hull.
Yes.
Please use the Anchor in Hull. It's,
Yes.
the Anchor of Hull is located next to the temple, right off of Nantasket Ave. It's our brand new recovery center in
Mhm.
Hull. It's awesome. Come just hang out on Saturday nights,
Yes.
6 to 10. We got tons of pool and games and all sorts of good things going
Yep.
on.
Yep.
And we'd love to have you come down.
Yes, that's Saturday night hangout. Ping pong, pool, just talk, you're like steps from the beach. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's
We're having
awesome.
We're having a great time down there.
Yes.
It's a gift to have a recovery center in Hull.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Nice.
it has its problems, just like every other city or town.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter where you are, and that place was like a community center a long
It
time
was.
ago,
My
and now
daughter danced there.
No,
yeah,
it is a good-
yeah. Kristen learned how to
She
dance
did.
it. Yes.
Wow, that's so funny.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Her and her brother. But yeah, Kurt, he's doing great things over there. Emily, she's great.
Kurt's awesome. Kurt met my daughter when he came to Hull High School to speak about opiate awareness. And
Yep.
my daughter went up to Kurt and told Kurt, I lost my father. It's ironic. So he remembered that when he met me, when I went in there to become a recovery coach. He's like, I met your daughter. It's a small world, and we're all trying to do the same
Yes.
thing. We're trying to save lives and save families.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
So-
Good stuff. It's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it.
No.
Yes. So, if anyone is
That's
looking for
stupid.
any resources, any help, anything, please hit me up. Hit Shannon up, hit Tom up, hit the page
hit
up.
us up.
There's no reason for you to
LOLTERMS.com.
suffer in silence.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
And
everybody.
that's
Thank
it.
you.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.